All right, so we're here today with Kiki from the Smashing Pumpkins, and it worked out really great that you guys are in Minneapolis, and we're from Winnipeg, so this is the closest major U.S. city that we can get down to see big bands, because you guys don't normally make it to Winnipeg very often.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to ask you a couple questions, because obviously with you getting this gig, I mean, there was the audition call for everybody, and like 10,000 people signed up. A bunch of my friends were like, "Should I audition?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "If you want to try out, let me do it." Yeah. So, what was it like the process for you? Like, when did you decide like you wanted to audition, and kind of how did that play out for you?
I mean, it was a social media post, and at first, I saw it and I was like, is that real? And then like clicked on it and zoomed in, and sure enough, it was the official Smashing Pumpkins, Instagram. And I was like, there's no way that I have a chance. But my boyfriend was like, you gotta do it. Like, you got it. So threw my hat in, I put my audition in, and I got a call, said there's a Zoom call, got on the Zoom call with the band. And I was like, oh my gosh, is this real? And ended up talking with Billy a lot about Dimebag Darrell,
Nice.
And Pantera. And I was like, this is so cool. There are like so many metal roots. And then I got another call saying that you'll be going to LA. Showed up to LA, and at that point I was just like, I'm just excited to be here to jam, even if I just get to jam with them. Like, I don't even care. The fact that I get to like play with legends is like so cool. So I just like played the audition, did my thing, and literally got a call the next day. And I was like, it happened so fast. I really didn't, I've been, and a lot of people don't realize this about me too, is they see that I've been on social media, they think like, oh, she's just like a TikTok influencer. But I've been doing music since 2010, playing like real like SHIT holes, playing gigs to no one. There was no one there sometimes, and you're still like playing your heart out like it's a full show. And I'm 35 now. I have a baby, a 1-year-old. So I was like, there's no like touring is not going to be in the books for me. But having this opportunity, like everyone pulled through. My family pulled through. My boyfriend pulled through. Like he was so supportive and was like, you have to do this. So the fact that like they believed in me as somebody who's capable of doing this, as a mother, as almost like a person who gave up on music, it's been invigorating and such a freaking honor. Like, so it's been great.
That's really inspiring to hear. Like, it reminds me a little bit of Miles Kennedy's story, that like Miles was kind of ready to give up, and then got his audition with Alter Bridge, and like, yeah, he was thinking about like, you know what, like the dream of touring and that is over, and then switch flips, and all of a sudden you're doing it. So I mean, that is a testament to like, don't give up on whatever your dream is, and if you can have fun. Like a lot of us have played those shows where you are playing at a bar. It is a shithole. You can say shit on our YouTube channel, that's fine. But like, yeah, it is a dive, and there's 7 people there, and they really don't want to hear you or your music. Yes. They want it at, normally want to hear a cover band or something. Yeah. And, perseverance through that, and the fact that if you love what you're doing and love performing, that like, it's not fun when there's 7 people and they don't care.
Right.
But if you can still have fun as a band and do that, I mean, that's just experience that's going to benefit you down the line.
100%.
So I want to know about your guitars. So I've seen, mostly metal guitars on your social media. And I want to know what's the most important thing on a guitar for you? Like, what's the thing that draws you to an instrument?
Oh my gosh, it's funny. This band has actually allowed me to diversify my playing tenfold more in the last 20, however many years I've been playing. Like, I would consider myself a one-trick pony prior to joining this band. I just love metal. I love metal. I love chugs. I love unnecessary shreds. I love noise and just high gain shenanigans. So that's like what draws me to instruments and nothing other. I like barely played any acoustic guitar. Like, I was just like, Jackson was like, EMG, like active pickups, anything that's just like high gain, just like nasty, dirty sounds. But this band has actually opened my eyes to a lot of like new types of sounds and new effects. Like, I didn't use a lot of effects in my own personal musicianship, I guess. But I mean, gosh, like having this full pedal board and learning to like, it was almost like going back to school for me and having to like relearn how to use sounds to and a little bit more dynamics rather than focusing so much on technical ability and all that stuff, you know, which is fun. But
100%. So for your guitars, then you gravitated more towards, like you said, Jackson's, EMGs. I saw that you have like the Strandberg. So does your Strandberg have the ender neck?
Yeah. So Strandberg is really fun. Like they hit me up, and there's a lot of people have their reservations about headless guitars, and so did I.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yep.
It's like you're like, what the fuck is this? Like it doesn't make any sense. And then they're just like, here, like take this guitar. And I was like, I love guitars. Like I don't buy bags. I mean, I have like maybe 1 or 2 bags, but I spend all of my money on guitars. I have like 35 at home.
Nice.
You know, and that's like my my trophies. You know, but the funny, when somebody sends me a guitar, I'm like, fuck yes, please, regardless of what it is. So I did try out the headless guitars, thinking like, let's give it a chance, and it's actually kind of neat. Like, so I forget, oh my gosh, next, I forgot what it's called, but it has, one of them has the multi-scale and that crazy like neck thing.
The ender neck.
The ender neck, yes.
Yeah.
And that one is like so weird because you're like, what? Like everything, it's almost as if like you took like a bunch of shrooms and you looked at a guitar neck and it was just like flaring out at you. But like at the same time, I'm sober by the way, but I was like, but it, you know, when you're playing it, it kind of feels, when you start to like take away like all of your like intuition on how to play, you're like, okay, I can see why they made it that way.
Yes.
Like, and right now I have the Strandberg just because it's really easy to throw in the overhead compartment. And, you know, it's very portable. It's the Bowden Essential.
Yep.
And that one's a lot of fun. I'm trying to hopefully get some for the guys too, just so they can play with it and test it out. But yeah, it's great. I love it. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, a friend of mine from Los Angeles had one of the Bowdens with the ender neck. Was the first time I tried it, and I'm used to playing like dad rock guitars, so lots of Strats and Les Paul. So I'm used to hooking my thumb over the neck, and like as soon as I grabbed the Bowden, I was like, ugh, like, no. I'm like, I just handed it back. I'm like, what's wrong with it? And then he explained why, and then I sat and I put my thumb and I'm like, oh, it's completely ergonomically correct.
Right.
Like, I'm like, I understand why people do this.
Exactly.
I'm not going to change my technique. So I'm like, so you have it back. But I really loved what you said, because one of the next things I wanted to ask you was, like, a lot of guitar players view their guitars as, I find they fit into 2 camps. Either they're just tools,
right,
and like some tools have sentimental value, or they are kind of like collectors who like they want every color of whatever guitar it is that they have. And I wanted to ask you what camp you fit in. I'm pretty sure I already know your answer, because I love that you called them trophies.
Yeah.
Because I've never heard anybody call them that. I've always heard like, you know, like they're like pieces of art that hang on the wall. Yeah. So yeah, I appreciate that you just want to have like whatever it is because it's cool.
Oh, absolutely. And like, because I just love guitars so much, and I don't really like, I don't collect anything else. I really don't. It's always like, there's always something new and something like characteristically about the guitar that makes it fun, and like it's almost personality. So when you pick it up, you want to be a certain personality when you play. Like, you know, obviously, like if you play more dad rock, you want to go like back to like some of that 70s stuff or whatever. And then if you're playing like an RR, like the Randy Rhoads ones, you're just like fucking shred or whatever. You know, it's just like they almost tell you how you want to play it in a sense.
Well, I find that like when I got into playing different types of guitars, because for the first little while, like I got set on like when the PV Wolfgang came out, like that's what I played. Yeah. So I had, you know, 2 or 3 of those, and I had a Strat. And then as I got older, I started like picking up other guitars that I had always kind of looked at and been like, oh man, I would love a PRS. Yeah. And I find that like you're inspired, or at least for me, I'm inspired to play different things in different ways with different instruments.
Exactly, yeah.
So
100%.
Yeah, and I completely agree. Like you pick up like an RCD's guitar, and like all you want to do is play as fast as you possibly can because it's got this, you know, thin neck that's similar to like a wizard neck.
Yeah, totally, for sure.
Very cool. when it comes to like amplifiers, or you said you didn't really use a lot of pedals or effects.
Yeah.
What have you kind of always gravitated towards, or I guess what would make a great amplifier or a great effects pedal for you? Like what's important to you?
You know, it's funny. Like, with amps, I have like at home, I use like this little Line 6 spider whatever thing.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Like the shittiest. What everyone like, if you post a picture of that thing on the internet, people will be like, "Fuck you." But I like played so much on that, like just so much time spent like hashing out songs, hashing out ideas, hashing out riffs and stuff that like, you know, it almost becomes like a part of your sound, which is bizarre. But then like coming into this world and being exposed to like so much more depth, like it has opened my eyes like beyond, and in that in itself is such a gift, because I feel like I've just been pigeonholed, and like it's just me, you know, none of my, like my boyfriend doesn't play guitar, so it's just me trying to figure things out by myself.
Gotcha.
And then now I've got like 5 people that just are like all into music and have different backgrounds, different interests, and it's like exposed me to different tones and things to look for and what makes instruments, amps, effects actually good. And I'm like, holy shit, I'm like, I have to erase a lot of my past and try to learn. But I mean, in terms of like amps, gosh, I thought I knew, and then I'm not even trying to like kiss ass. Like I literally came on stage and we plugged in your stuff. I was like, what's Revv amps? And like I listened in the ears and I was like, whoa. Like it punches you in the chest. You're like, okay, this is tone. Like this is beef, you know?
Yeah, well, like I think most of us have a similar experience when we first start playing a good high gain tube amp, which there are lots. I'm not trying to say just ours.
Sure, yeah.
But when you first hit like a big open D chord or a big E chord on a rectifier or any amp like that,
totally.
You get that thing where, you know, if you have a cabinet, the air moves your pants and you're like, holy shit, I don't want to do anything else ever again except play this.
Exactly.
But yeah, I appreciate that you had Line 6 Spider and that you stand behind it. There's a lot of people on either Instagram or just on the internet in general that shit on Line 6 stuff.
Yeah.
Besides the Helix. And I'm always like, when I was growing up, I'm in my 40s. When I was growing up, I would have killed to have an amp with onboard effects.
Yeah.
For $100.
Exactly.
Like a single stomp was $100 and some bucks back when I was growing up, and I'm like, you get all this shit in this amp for $110. Like, why are you whining? Like, you should be thrilled. So, man, well, thank you so much for taking some time with me today and chatting about gear, and I hope you have a great rest of the tour. And
Thanks for having me.
No problem. Thanks.